We've become bored with watching NPCs give us phony quests. We're tired of choices that don't matter, not change anything, and uninspired writing. While the world of Cyrodiil is, in some respects, formulated the same as that of any other recent game, there is nothing uninspired or lazy about Cyrodiil itself. No linearity, no boring quests, no boring characters. It isn't always Morrowind, but it's genuine. It is genuinely Elder Scrolls. Hello everyone, Christoph here. On today's installment of Mods That Are Written Better Than the Game They're In, we have Beyond Skyrim BRUMA, the proof of concept, and dare I say the poster boy, for all the Beyond Skyrim projects. Basically, it's an interconnected network of different modding teams that aim to recreate large chunks of the rest of Tamriel as of the time of the events of Skyrim. In summary, the Dragonborn got access to an international visa. These projects aim to add the following places: Cyrodiil, Atmora, Morrowind, Blackmarsh, Elsewhere, the Iliac Bay, Valenwood, and Roscria. Release date? Eventually. Maybe. At some point. Hopefully. No promises. Please don't ask. A bold task indeed, but they show constant progress as different teams operate in different speeds and are in different stages of development. So, the lads working at the Cyrodiil team released BRUMA, the area right next to Skyrim, as a little sweet taste of the main course that will eventually come. BRUMA is an area filled to the brim with stories and adventures taking place in Cyrodiil during the turbulent period of the post-Great War Empire. After the end of the Great War, the signing of the White Gold Concorder, and the rebellion in Skyrim, the Empire has never looked weaker, which has led Cyrodiil to fall into what is essentially a late Roman Empire scenario, whereby the people resent the state, the provinces are defenseless against foreign threats and inner turmoils, and social and political corruption has skyrocketed. Wait, why does this hit so close to home? In this video, I will curate you through the most important quests that are currently available in this province. I am not gonna cover all of them, but I do want to talk about the ones that I enjoyed the most, and the ones that are actually interesting. So buckle up, Skyrim dwellers. We're hopping the border and telling the stories from Cyrodiil. Just BRUMA though.
The heartland of Tamriel. She's ailing. Maybe beyond saving. But I'm sure you'll take a fair crack at it all the same. Welcome to Cyrodiil.
Ah yes, the quintessential purple Cyrodiilic Timberwolf. This is quite the rare specimen, indeed. Ah yes, the floating trees of BRUMA. How could I forget that Oblivion reference? Okay, I'm getting the vibe that I have not exactly installed the assets for this mod correctly. Oh well, yes, the Cyrodiilic Tavern.
A long time ago, near a city called home, was born quite the scoundrel, a boy full of storm. Sir Melvin of Skingrad, of glory and fame, our hero and savior, but only in name. One day during supper, a girl in despair, her brother with scissors had ruined her hair. So Melvin of Skingrad with dagger and flare, he chased down her brother straight to a fiend's lair. The brother was eaten by goblins and wraiths, but Melvin of Skingrad he hid in some crates. And when he tried fleeing, he fell on some glass. He woke all the goblins who ran for his ass. Straight back to the village, the fiends and their bones. The folk started screaming and ran for their homes. But Melvin of Skingrad, his heart had been swayed. What hero would flee when his family needs aid? So while his legs weakened, he turned to his side. With dagger and flare, he would die for his pride. For time that was needed, in blood he had paid. The guards all came running, the goblins were slayed. We buried our Melvin with glory and fame, as hero and savior, not only in name. All things being equal, his plight was our fault. He saved us from nothing, but stole all our hearts.
I already love this mod, and we are only like a couple of dozen steps in.
I hate to impose, traveler, but if you ever come upon a stray in the wilderness, would you mind thinking of me?
Best of luck, friend. And thank you.
This is only one tavern, and I already got 2 quests out of it.
Acting, like politics, is about honesty. Fake honesty and you'll do just fine.
Facts. Those are facts. And there she is, BRUMA. Oh, the memories. Oh, the nostalgia. I just went past the gate and I have already found Walter White's crystal blue meth on the floor. Okay, I know that I leave the quests that I like the most at the end when I'm making a video like this, but for once, I want to showcase the quests that I deem the most memorable at the beginning of the video. Do you remember Cloud Ruler Temple, the Bastion of the Blades, and the hub of Martin Septum and the Champion of Cyrodiil, and that one other guy during the Oblivion Crisis? Well, as of the time of Skyrim, it looks like this. Alright, it has seen better days to be sure. So what happened here? Well, a bunch of things, really. Mainly,
Sussy elves.
firstly, after the Septim Dynasty was broken, the Blades refused to serve the Meat Dynasty because they weren't Dragonborn. Instead, they decided to combat the growing Thalmor threat. They ultimately failed in this endeavor, and the head of every single Blade in the Somerset Isles and Valenwood was brought before Tyrus Meat, which, along with his unwillingness to bow his head to the Thalmor, sparked the Great War. During the Great War, many of the remaining Blade strongholds were destroyed. Most notable of all of them, however, was still Cloud Ruler Temple. The temple was besieged and sacked, and when we enter it, we get this encounter.
You there! This is a war zone! What are you doing here? Fine. If you won't leave, go. Find Alina. Tell her we need her at the front, immediately.
Oh dear. Guys, I sense drama. Alina is, of course, there, but she has a very interesting note on her inventory. In the armory, we can find Glenroyd's blade, and then we can enter the west ring of the temple, where we find the ghost of Raslan.
Dead. He's dead. And the roof. Rubble. Corvin is dead. Alina is dead. They're all dead. And the roof. Is this it? Have we lost the fight?
Tell me, what happened here?
The Dominion. They're marching on Cyrodiil. The false emperor is doing nothing to defend us. And now they're laying siege to the temple. They set up siege weapons, catapults, trebuchets. Their battle mages rain fire on us from above. They've broken through the front lines and are closing in. All is nearly lost. And if Felina and Corvin have fallen...
Raslan, you're dead too.
Dead. I'm dead. You found my skeleton. Talus, no! Then Cloud Ruler Temple is lost. The blades are broken. My order is no more. As am I.
From that point, we place the swords of the three blades in the fire to burn, and thus, their spirits pass on to the afterlife. And we even get to keep one of those swords as a reward. Simple quest, right? Why is this my favorite one? It is my favorite one because it sets the stage for the rest of the mod. We aren't entering an unfamiliar land. Cyrodiil is a place we've been in before. What we are entering, however, is a broken, crippled, and ruined version of the place we've been in before. The world of Cyrodiil in Beyond Skyrim reminds me a lot of the world of Enderal in its theme and aesthetics. And it's also maybe because the two mods utilize like 80% of the same voice actors.
My father-in-law Amiel can tell you that better than I. He lives around here. Go, ask him.
Okay, whatever helps us stop the cleansing, Kalia. It is a place that saw its best days around 2 centuries ago, and now it's on a downward spiral, and its inhabitants clearly know that this is the case, but they are unable to do anything about it. But unlike Enderal, where it's all doom and gloom, Cyrodiil shows the decay in all its forms, be they social, economical, or religious, but it also shows a clearer path to recovery. Yet, in doing so, it does not cover the complexities of the society or the pathway to recovery under pillars of optimism or happy endings. Enter the quote-unquote main quest of BRUMA, and I am putting these words in quotes because of a lizard in a bathtub, which we will talk about later. For now, introducing the best boy in the whole of BRUMA, Adius Vilius. He's the captain of the BRUMA Guard who is sent out on an important, top-secret mission by the Count of BRUMA. The mission being to recover a bunch of Akaviri heirlooms that were stolen from the Count. What's all this about Akaviri heirlooms?
A whole lot of uproar about nothing, that's what. The Count's been nagging my life and soul out about the damn things. You see, the Carvanes have a sort of family tradition. They've acquired a taste for Akaviri artifacts, constantly collecting more and more. Been going on for centuries now. Well, it turns out poor old Count Desilus... Count Carvane... isn't too happy that his collection's been stolen.
As you can clearly see, he's only one bad day away from ending it all in Minecraft. Can I help you with the heirlooms?
Well, that's... who am I kidding? Absolutely. This is driving me crazy. Just bring them back to me when you found them and I'll be extremely appreciative. And I mean extremely appreciative. Seriously. I feel like offing myself right about now.
From a quick deduction of our surroundings, I would say that the orc in the background is probably our main suspect here. So we go to a shady inn, we ask the innkeeper about the heirlooms, and after we press him enough on this topic, he says, oh yeah, there is this guy, he was talking about the heirlooms, and it was definitely your guy, and here let me mark it on your map. We go there, and we find a note that basically says, Lamau, the guy is actually in BRUMA. So we go back to BRUMA, and coincidence, another group of thieves stole the heirlooms from the thief who stole them in the first place, and have taken them to the underground caverns to be sold in the black market. And because they had to break into another dude's house in order to access the caverns through a trapdoor, the captain is also there. By the way, isn't this house in like a questing about vampires in Oblivion as well? In 2 centuries, they did not even renovate this place. So we get the heirlooms, clean the caverns, and the count says thank you in the most worthy way I can think of.
If you would just hand over the artifacts, gently if you please. Thank you very much. So, you tracked down the thief and found my artifacts. I am extremely grateful. Please accept this small recompense from the treasury. Thank you for your service. Something makes me think you're not going to merely disappear, though. You're the kind to get tangled in all sorts of affairs, I'm sure. Farewell, friend to BRUMA. Good luck. I do hope you remain loyal to the BRUMA throne.
So that was the first quest of the Edius Vilius questline that takes place in BRUMA. If you talk with the captain at all, it is very easy to understand that he's actually just a genuinely good guy with good intentions, who is just unable to do his job right now because of all the stupid laws introduced in the White Gold Concordat, out of touch nobles, and a fed up populace.
Between the Count, the White Gold Concordat, and all the other treaties, the rules are constantly changing. All I want to do is protect these people, jail criminals, earn my keep. Then the damned wind changes, and with it, the law. And then, what do you know? I'm supposed to jail this group, and that group, and the other group. And for what? For politics. Despite it all, though, I wouldn't trade this job for the world. It's rewarding, fulfilling, and at least it lets me provide for myself and my family.
Let us see what 4th Cyrodiil does to people who think like this. A while after we complete this quest, we get a tip that the captain needs our help again with an important matter. What could possibly be as important as the Boohoo, I lost my fine china collection quest from earlier? Well, hear me out.
Talos worshippers.
Horrible, revolting, dare I say stomach turning. This Kotho video is brought to you by the Altmeri Embassy of Cyrodiil. Altmeri Embassy? More like Altmeri Ambassing. Okay, maybe we shouldn't put that in. Talos worshippers in post-Great War Cyrodiil are sent to Blue River Prison, which is basically an elven concentration camp. The captain advises us to convince them to lay low, but not arrest them, nor should we kill them as heretics. So we go and meet them, and here we have the option to either tell them to lay low, stop altogether, which makes them hostile, meaning we have to kill them, or just let them have their Talos worship publicly. How we respond to this dialogue tree determines the ending of this questline, but for now I will just go with the option the captain advises us to go with, and just tell them to lay low. After we choose this option, the captain thanks us for doing what he told us to do, but he also starts second guessing about whether this was the right call or not. And that was this quest. Here's a simple question that people can't seem to agree specifically on. Why did the Thalmor hate Talos and want him banned specifically? I shall now outline all possible reasons and examine them. And keep in mind that I'm going with the Talos is Tiber Septon meshed in with Wolfath and Xeranactus into a Numidium soup theory. Reason number 1. By denying Talos of worship, you are denying him of power. And by denying him of power, his influence also becomes weaker, and as such, his ability to guard the Empire also fades away. As popular as this theory is, I don't buy it. Let me give you my notes as to why. Yes, Talos is worshipped like a divine, but he isn't like the other Aedra. The whole thing about power coming from faith and belief stems from the fact that the Aedra gave a part of their power to create the world. However, there is still a concrete version of them that escaped Aetherius, which is why they exist both in the world and in Aetherius. That part can become different things based on the belief of the world. Because of this, they can interact with the world in small ways, which is why Emperor Uriel VII mentions that they guide the world with an invisible hand. All of this is true, and it's why so many Aedra have different forms in different pantheons. None of this, however, applies to Talos. He was not one of the ancestral spirits that made the world. You can argue that as per the whole Shazarin thing, he's technically Lorcan, but even still, if they believe that, why wouldn't they ban the worship of Shazar instead of Talos? Shazar is associated with a lot more elven hatred, and according to the Thalmor, he's also the reason why they're stuck on Nirn to begin with. So if Talos does not have a split nature like the other Aedra, that means that he isn't affected by the beliefs of the world, and those beliefs don't shape him. It is for these reasons that I don't subscribe to this theory. Reason number 2. The Thalmor don't like Talos because he defeated them in Elnor and conquered all of the Somerset Isles for himself and the Empire by using a giant, mass-killing robot. This theory does have strong bones to it, and it has to be a reason to be sure, but I would argue that it is not the main reason, and that is because, to my knowledge at least, not once did any Thalmor ever mention this as one of the reasons for banning Talos worship. Ever. There is even a dialogue with the Thalmor Justiciar in Skyrim, on Dolemar, which almost suggests that this isn't even one of their main concerns. He mentions that, at least all Freaksmen, are willing to fight for their principles, barbaric as they may be.
None of these people cares a whit about the religious aspects of this war. Another sign of the degeneracy of your empire.
So they do respect fighting for principles such as Talos worship, and they don't view it as an attack on their history or people. Rather, it is a matter of a barbaric religion and principle. Which brings us to the third and probably most correct reason about why they insist on banning Talos worship. If they were to accept Talos, that would destroy their whole worldview. You see, the elves, and more specifically the Thalmor, view themselves as gods trapped on Nirn, and the creation of the world as an error of gods stronger than them, which confine them into this physical prison, Nirn. If this world is their prison, then Tiber Septim ascending would mean that mankind is up to par with the elven races, and if not, mankind stands a better chance at escaping the world than them, since the elves are associated with Oriel, whereas human races are associated with Shazar. Notice the difference in the way these two figures view the world. Oriel was so pissed after making the world that he tossed the heart of Shazar under a mountain. He never wanted this world to exist, and even if he did, he most definitely did not want it to exist like this. Much like the Thalmor, whereas Shazar viewed it as the only true way to really escape the world altogether. That way was the way of the scarab that transforms into the new man, the way of Talos, something that, for the elves, is inconceivable. They believe that they were immortal gods that were trapped in this world, much like Oriel, and their immortality is proof of that, and that what they actually have to do is find a way to break free from this world. If I had like a dime for every time I went into a Talos rant in the middle of one of my videos, I feel like I would be able to file for retirement early. Anyway, back to Adius. Well, after a while he calls us again, and we go back to him like the obedient little sheepborn that we are. But this time, he just invites us for a drink as a way of thanking us for helping him. There he opens up a lot more to the Dragonborn, saying that he has become disillusioned with the world around him, and he also says that a while ago he let a comrade down and he has been depressed because of it, but now he's feeling better. Oh yeah, could you also go kill a bunch of bandits? Please, pretty please. This bandit cave clear was surprisingly difficult. The boss even has the ability to disarm the player.
A feeble blow.
So we go back to BRUMA, everyone claps at the hero, they go, oh my god, you're so good, you wanna buy a house? You wanna invest in real estate? The captain goes, oh my god, you inspired me, you are what we call a real one, I don't wanna quit my job anymore, and it's all because of you. Now, remember when I said that the Talos worship response determines the ending? Well, if we persecute the Talos worshippers, we simply get out of here, we have a lovely stroll outside BRUMA Castle, Adius gives us a gift, and he thanks us again, and the questline ends. But if we help or just let the Talos worshippers be, we get this ending instead.
Oh, Amiens up ahead. Damn it, I did not need this. Today of all days. In my experience, Thalmor have got a way of killing the mood.
Ah, Adius Villius, just who I was looking for.
Is this about those reports? Did it really have to be now, right after a big celebration? Do the Thalmor have need of me right now?
Yes, Villius, we do. But not in a meeting hall. Oh no. We desire your presence elsewhere.
What in Oblivion are you talking about?
We desire your presence in Blue River Prison, Villius.
Blue River? The Thalmor prison camp? What is the meaning of this?
You thought you could hide a group of Talos worshippers from us. You thought to play the Thalmor for fools? Are you really so dense? Oh, enough of this. The dramatic build-up and suspense were both truly palpable, but now that I've seen the look on your face, the novelty has worn off. Guardsmen, let's take Vilius on a little holiday to Blue River. You there, down.
Goodbye, my friend. Perhaps this will be our final goodbye. Tell the Count I'm sorry for the political mess I'll have dragged him into. And if
Adjutant,
you can,
it's time.
do what you
Open
can
the
for
portal to
BRUMA and
Blue
your
River.
people in my
We didn't
stead.
expend all those resources charging that focus for...
Doubt we'll see each other again.
And this is what you get for being a good guy and not killing people in post-White Claw Concordat Cyrodiil. You are sent to the Gulag. Alright, let's talk about some of the other quests present in BRUMA. Lasinia Ironheart is the wife of an Imperial soldier who hasn't returned home from the border patrol duty in months. Her letters to the commander of the unit go unanswered, and it would be really convenient if someone with too much free time on their hands were to go there and ask for him. Oh, hi there, Dragonborn. I didn't see you there. So we go there and ask around. From there, we learn that he was heading for the Serpent's Tail, which is the path from Skyrim to BRUMA for thieves and smugglers. We go there and we find him dead. And in his inventory, he has a journal. In his journal, we learn that he grew increasingly disillusioned with the Empire after the banning of Talos worship and the persecution of Stormcloaks, so he decided to join them. But he must have taken like a rough part, and so he slipped on the floor and died or something. I don't know, he's already dead, why would I know? We tell that to his wife, and she's very sad about this, but she still gives us 1,200 gold as a reward, which is a lot of gold to give to someone who just told you that your husband died. One thing I really enjoy about this mod is that quests are connected with one another, and one quest often leads to several more. For example, here, as we approach the commander of the Legion station in the border, we overhear this conversation.
Still wouldn't talk.
Damn it all. Unsurprising, though. Sadly. This one's stubborn. Too stubborn for his own good. Still, you did all you could, and that's admirable in itself. Now go. Get back to your regular shift.
So apparently, the Imperials captured a strange man trying to cross the border, walked right into that Imperial ambush, same as us, and that thief over there.
Phantom, you stormcucks. Skibidi was fine until you rizzed along. Simpire was chill AF.
So we go talk to this prisoner, where we learn that he is in fact a Stormcloak, hoping to take the fight to Cyrodiil with his comrades, who will be attacking this here fine fort shortly. So we repel the assault, and the prisoner gets taken away by the Penadus Aculadi to be interrogated. A couple of things to say about this quest. It is obvious at this point that people don't necessarily follow the Empire because it's doing the right thing, but rather because it's the last hope of humanity to fight against the Altmeri Dominion.
Yeah. Not exactly the outcome I was hoping for. But the Empire is what it is. The best damned hope for Tamriel, warts and all.
Also, the Penadus Aculadi show a clear escalation in what it means to be the secret agents of the Empire. You see, in the days of the Riemann dynasty, there were the Akaviri Potente, a strictly military and advisory body to the Emperor, as well as his personal bodyguard. Then we had the Blades, who are more focused on protecting the Emperor and providing secret services, but aren't so much their own army. And now we have the Penadus Aculadi, who are just a secret service. They are revered for their brutality, their scheming, and their efficiency no matter the cost of anyone else. But this gradual evolution from Akaviri Potente to Penadus Aculadi is a direct product of the different circumstances the Empire finds itself in. After the heads of all the Blades were delivered to the Emperor, it had become apparent that direct confrontation with the Dominion is not the optimal route, and only being half sneaky doesn't work. So they had to become more extreme in order to not end up like the Blades. Alright, enough politics for now. What we need here is more of that passionate storytelling. Ugly Love is a quest where you meet an orc in a rundown inn, and the orc says that he lost his partner and fellow mercenary after a bandit raid went wrong, and they were ambushed, leading to him making it out barely alive and his partner going missing. So, and I kid you not, we learn the gossip of the entire nobles court of BRUMA, only to learn that a Breton noble has a thing for orc women. Very on brand. Very lore-friendly. Good job, Beyond Skyrim team. So we sneak around the house, find evidence, and take them back to the orc that gave us the quest. Both of us then go back to the noble's house and catch them in the act. red-handed. We then have the option to either kill them or walk away, Sigma style. And that's the quest. On a similar goofy note, a dark elf called Alamu informs us about how she too had her ancient dark elf heirlooms stolen from her and taken into a cave in the middle of nowhere. At this point I found myself wondering how common heirloom thievery is, but when I googled heirlooms, all I got was a specific breed of bloated tomatoes, which immediately made me think that all this is happening because people are hoarding tomatoes. Not that it matters, because it turns out that she hadn't lost her priceless vegetables, she only wanted to lead us to the cave so she can blackmail us and turn us into her drag mule for her illegal skooma business. From here we have the option to become a mule, report her to the guard, or kill her partner and be done with it. Personally, I always go with the deliver option, because if it's good enough for the Nerevarin, then it's probably good enough for the Dragomon as well. Fun fact, did you know that after the Oblivion Crisis, the Mages Guild dissolved completely? For some reason I either didn't know that or completely forgot about it. I only found out about it in the Infernal City novel, video coming eventually. In its place, we have two different organizations, the College of Whispers and the Synod. The Synod is the more in line with the old Mages Guild rules, like banning necromancy and certain kinds of conjuration, mainly the ones that include spawning Daedra, whereas the College of Whispers focuses more on the practice of any kind of magic. They focus on the acquisition of knowledge of all kinds, which includes forbidden knowledge, and they don't allow that knowledge to spread outside the college.
We are an organization devoted to the study of magic in all of its forms. Unlike those close-minded synod mages over in BRUMA, we do not restrict our members simply out of ignorance and fear. Necromancy and conjuration are as much schools of magic as restoration and illusion, whether the public approves of them or not.
Okay, take bets in the comment section right now. How long in their main quest will we have to go through until Hermeus Mora shows up? The two of them are rivals, constantly feuding about who will gain the favor of the Elder Council. In BRUMA we can join none of them, but they are a part of several quests, starting with the College of Whispers because it's the quicker one, and they screwed up a conjuration spell which led a scamp to run free and roam Cyrodiil. Obviously Martin did not die for this, so we track it down and send it back to Oblivion. Behold, a scamp in the Skyrim engine. Hey dude, I killed the scamp.
Yes, I already know. I asked a little friend of ours to watch over you and make sure you followed through. Well done. Here's some gold. Now, if you'll excuse me...
Wait, that's it? The thing killed an entire family of hunters. They really let anyone get away with anything these days, don't they? Kind of a short quest, yes, but the Synod quest also involves the College of Whispers, so let's get to that one. When we walk into the Synod space in BRUMA for the first time, we get this encounter.
Indeed, this is odd. And you say it just appeared here out of thin air?
It isn't mine, that's for sure. Where do you think it came from?
What is with this commotion? Where did that come from? Who made this mess?
That's the thing. We don't know.
It just appeared, out of thin air. Maybe that stranger over there has something to do with it.
You there, come here.
What mess?
Don't play ignorant with me. You are involved in this somehow. I mean, really. You expect me to believe that you just happened to randomly walk in just as this statue appeared here?
Am I talking to me?
So the problem is that a bunch of mystical items keep spawning out of nowhere in their base. After a quick investigation, we discover that this is the product of teleportation magic, and that the person doing this has something to do with Frostcrack Spire, the base of the College of Whispers in BRUMA. So safe to say that the college is behind this in some way. We go there and ask around, where we found out that there's some old guy there testing the teleportation magic used by the old Mages Guild to teleport between their bases. We help him finish his experiment by becoming a lab rat, items stop spawning in the Synod, and that's that quest.
Right, here we go. Prepare yourself.
There is another quest in the Synod where the sister of the head of the Synod branch in BRUMA turns out to be a necromancer, so we have to put her down. That's the Synod and the College of Whispers. For now, I want to say like 40% of the quests in this mod end with a to be continued note for the player. Okay, Small quest rundown. Go. Dardagdo is a honest thief who steals from the rich and gives back to the poor. He was framed from stealing from a general goods store, and Captain Edius tasks us with talking to him about this issue. The cat assures us that he never steals from common people, so we report back to Edius, who lets the cat off, but in return, he also evicts him from BRUMA. He can now become our follower. Alvar is an NPC hanging around in the snowstone resting. Apparently, he got in with the wrong people, and now he has to flee for Skyrim. But he wants us to deliver a letter to his brother. After we do so, a carrier gives us a letter by him, stating that he made it out of Cyrodiil and he's now laying low in Skyrim. For now. The general view is the more high-class inn in BRUMA, but unfortunately, they ran out of their famous apple meat, so we gotta deliver it ourselves from a small settlement outside BRUMA called Applewatch. The resident there gives us the meat, but also tells us that one of their horses has gone missing, and after a quick cave dive, we find out that the horse is in fact dead. Why am I mentioning this quest? I am doing so because the horse's name is Red Diamond. Red Diamond is dead, they say, and everything is worse because of it. Huh? The Amulet of Kings is broken, and everything is worse off because of it. Sometimes I forget that this game is actually beautiful. A lot of the dungeons in BRUMA are fillers for repeating side quests you can get on and in, but some of them also have their self-contained stories in them. Case in point, Rayleigh. Rail? Rayleigh. Rail. Case in point, Rail. When you first enter this Eliad ruin, you hear the voice of an ancient Eliad leader of the Sanctum who has been brought back to life.
What? I am reborn. What is this? What have I become? Who has desecrated my sanctum? Who has defiled my body?
He now begs us to take him out of his misery and kill him again, as he's a servant of Meridia, and Meridia hates the undead, which he now is. He doesn't even know why he woke up, and when you ask him about it, he seems to foreshadow a future plot coming from another place in Cyrodiil.
I know not how or why, though I intend to find out. I feel a call, the nexus of the power. It comes from the west. The west.
It seems also that in the years between Oblivion and Skyrim, the people of Cyrodiil have deified Martin Septim, as the Temple of Talos in BRUMA is now the Temple of Saint Martin Septim, while they have also begun romanticizing the tale of the Champion of Cyrodiil. In fact, there is a museum about the Champion of Cyrodiil run by an absolute snake oil salesman, who even charges people to touch things that supposedly belong to the Champion.
Many say the champion disappeared after the crisis, but I know better. My theory is that the champion died following a great battle with a were-minotaur, a vampire, and a unicorn.
Although he is a scammer, he genuinely admires the champion. And if anything, the absurdity of a guy charging people to touch a piece of paper with his own mucus on them, claiming that this was once the handkerchief of the champion, is just the kind of nonsense that the champion of Cyrodiil would approve of, given that, right now, he's the god of madness.
An ordinary piece of fabric. How could this be interesting? Must be a placeholder. Except it's not! The champion used this handkerchief to blow their nose while ascending to Cloud Ruler Temple. It's a mix. The bird stuff's real. Well, not the sword, but the rest. And I think the finger's real. The handkerchief isn't. Been blowing my nose on it whenever I come down with the collywobbles, honestly. And you touched it, didn't you? Yeah, sorry about that.
And these are the sizable quests and sizable events from beyond Skyrim BRUMA that I wanted to mention. And now for a quick retrospective. There is a point I want to make with this video. Many have said that Bethesda's RPG formula is dated, and in a sense, you can see where they're coming from. Starfield was boring. ESO quests can put a man to sleep, I would know. And even the best Skyrim mods right now have abandoned Skyrim's questing formula. Undertale and Nerim are more closely connected with the Gothic series of games. Vicent's mods go by the From Software RPG formula and have basically abandoned Skyrim's questing structure of encounters and random events. Other mods are either linear stories that guide the player from start to end, or again, inspired by different games. Even mods that build on Skyrim rather than introducing their own world spaces, like Legacy of the Dragonborn, are structured unlike any other guild or questline in Skyrim, while the internet continues to spiral on and on with videos criticizing Bethesda about their RPG formula. Okay, get this. You walk into a city, you pick up a lemon from the floor, a guy walks up to you, says, "That's a nice lemon you got there. Ever done an honest days of work in your life?" Clearly not. Right, now join the Thieves Guild. Don't worry, no thieving skills required at all. And then there is BRUMA. If Beyond Skyrim was released as a standalone DLC for Skyrim that you would have to buy for the price of 20, no one would question its quality or whether it came from the same developers that came up with the rest of Skyrim. That's how closely this mod plays with the rest of Skyrim's formula. And it's awesome. You see, as far as I see it, Bethesda's formula isn't the main issue here. Does it have to be tweaked for modern standards? Yes. Is it as good as our nostalgia would have us believe? No. But to say that the whole thing is flawed isn't fair as far as I see it. In many ways, it enables dynamic questing, natural surprising encounters, and the ability to insert player decision in many aspects of these quests, where modern Elder Scrolls games fall flat isn't in that they follow an outdated recipe. The problem is that they pick up only the wrong ingredients: bland, uninspired, generic fantasy storytelling, choices that don't matter, inability to let the character develop in any true way, just the same old played by the books formula, without any real difficulty or consequences. Which is where I come to tell you that I have left the most notable encounter for the entirety of Beyond Skyrim BRUMA unmentioned until now. Grab your hot towels and lizard oils. We're going to the baths. In the baths, we met an Argonian named Bathes in Murky Waters. I will just call him Bathes, or Waters, or Murky. Actually, I'll call him Murky.
Though friends call me Bathes, for I enjoy bathing in baths very much.
Okay then, whatever you say. So as we enter the baths, Bates offers us a cereal next to him, where we proceed to chat about the most clowned on topic on the modern era internet: politics.
The Dominion are increasing their presence, and I hear rumors, whispers on the wind, of insurrectionist groups agitating against the current government. Some of the political families of Cyrodiil are even vying to place themselves upon the Ruby Throne. What say you to that, friend?
He will ask us what we think about the Empire and the Mid Dynasty, and we can answer with anything from "I love the Mids and the Empire," "I like them," "I don't like them," or we're just completely indifferent to politics. If by the end of the talk we find ourselves aligning with him and his political ideas, he hands us a note and leaves. If not, he simply leaves and informs us that we might be able to meet him again later. The note he leaves us with, if we align with him politically, reads as follows: "Dear new friend, I greatly enjoyed our conversation today in the bathhouses. The conclusions we drew were truly revolutionary. If you seek to further this revolutionary cause and preserve the sanctity of our waters, you should go to Anvil, to the Undertow Tavern. A true revolutionary awaits there." Now you wait until we go there and we find out that it's actually just Mike the Liar. It is highly speculated that this is one of the main ways that one can begin the main quest of Cyrodiil when it's all said and done. Why is this encounter so important? It is important for a couple of reasons. In a 5-ish minute talk, Bates comes across as a more realistic and well-written character than 90% of all of Skyrim's NPCs. Our talk with him also makes us question who our character really is. There is no right or wrong answer here necessarily, just two dudes talking in a bathtub. But it makes you think not just about the attitude of your character, but also about their beliefs. And based on those beliefs, the main quest shapes around them. What is more is that if you are anything like me, you will find this encounter during the ending of the questing in BRUMA. He is well hidden, and you will probably find him after completing a lot of other notable quests in BRUMA, after which point you have a better understanding of how the world works in post-Great War Cyrodiil. So the moment he asks you how you feel about these things, all the quests you play through come in mind and help you make your decision. Moreover, Bates makes you question about all the other things that you've observed or even just heard of so far. What is really going on in Blue River Prison? What will happen to the Empire now that Titus Mead II is dead? Was Titus Mead correct all along? Is the entire attitude towards the Dominion right per se? No, it isn't. When we kill the bandits that Arius wanted us to kill after our conversation in the inn, their leader has a letter written by a Thorn who says that he has something to benefit from the axe of the bandits? Is a Tharn trying to destabilize the Meats so they can claim the throne for themselves? How does this tie back to what Bathes was talking about? All of these questions from a simply well-written encounter that takes place in a well-written, brilliantly structured county of Cyrodiil that still plays by the about 2-decade-old formula of Bethesda. You walked in a bath, you found a lizard there who told you to chill with him, you did, and boom, viva la resistance. And those were the tales from beyond Skyrim BRUMA that made it in this video. So, in short, Bethesda, it's not about the players, and it's not about the engine too, buddy. It's you. It has always been just you. You thought that making Skyrim in space would make you top dog again. Little did you know, it takes more than just a few people going, hey you, when you walk into a city for the first time to call something Skyrim. On a more relevant note, I can't wait to play the full Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil mod from a comfortable sofa in a retirement home. I'm telling you, the prospects for senior entertainment have never looked more promising as they do for the Skyrim modding community. Links to the Beyond Skyrim projects lie in the description. And with all that being said, I have been Bathes in Acid, and thank you for watching. Bye.
Sir Melvin of Skingrad, of glory and fame, our hero and savior, but only in name.